Hare Krishna. So, yesterday we discussed the first part of our seminar on the art of binding the Lord in the heart. And we mentioned that most important in our spiritual journey is to always remember Krishna and never forget him. And it is not enough just to remember Krishna, but we should develop deep, loving emotions for him. Otherwise, our remembrance would be quite superficial, actually. Won't go deep, and our aim is to go deep, that we can become completely saturated by Krishna, by love for Krishna. And love is of course most deep feeling. And we mentioned that everyone wants to be happy. This is our nature, ananda mayobhya sat. We are living entities of happiness. No one can live without happiness even for a moment. If we know it or not, we always search for happiness. Yes. Every our thought, every our word, every our action is actually searching for happiness. And therefore, it is our abhidheya, as states, explained in second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, itavateva jigyasan tattva jigyasanatmana anvaya vyatirekabhyam yat sarvatra sarvada. That we should always search for this ultimate perfection. Yes, in all circumstances. Yes, that means in whatever social position we have, in whatever part of day we are in, yes, whatever we do, we should search for ultimate perfection. That means that we engage our consciousness, our senses, our whole existence for Krishna's pleasure, because we know that ultimate goal is to develop love for Krishna, and that means that we dedicate our life for Krishna's pleasure. So, yes. So this is the purpose of doing anything, actually. And if we don't pursue this goal in our life is wasted. Otherwise we live just for maintaining our body and to enjoy some flickering experiences which will be finished in the next moment. So, yes, it's completely useless to live such a life. It's similar to building a house on a shifting sand. One may think, but here is so nice view and nice breezes and nice environment, but it's crazy, because every sane person knows that the next moment your house will be destroyed. And when the house is destroyed, we cry and we suffer, like little children who build these sand castles in the shore of a lake or a sea, and their parents are laughing at them when the tide comes and washes away their castles, but they're crying when the tide of life comes and washes away their castles of sand. So we should as Jesus had put, we should build our house on a solid rock. And this solid rock is the relationship with Krishna. Yes, there is no other meaning of our life. And the month of Kartik is extremely beneficial in our pursuance of this goal, because there is a free flow of sheer mercy and love. As we said yesterday, that Srimati Radharani is the presiding deity of the month of Kartik. She's Urjeshwari. Urja is also an expression for the month of Kartik, and means life and force. That means it's our life. The month of Kartik is our life. And is it explained by our Acharya Bhakti-yoga Thakur, for example, said that it's to observe Kartik Vrata is a primary duty of a Vaishnava. Primary duty of a Vaishnava. Bhakti-yoga Thakur. And it is explained also in Ragavartma Chandrika, because as we will see when we discuss the Damodarastaka, that our goal is to develop Raga Bhakti. This is not very much discussed, but we should be aware of this. That this is our goal, to develop deep loving emotions to Krishna. And it's not cheap, of course, therefore it's also rarely spoken. But we should nevertheless understand our goal, because without clear understanding of our goal, we will not clearly engage in pursuance of the goal. And on sadhana depends our sadhya. Many times, as we mentioned yesterday, that people think that everything can happen mechanically, automatically, but nothing happens automatically and mechanically. Only by following certain sadhana we can achieve certain goal. Yes, by developing certain desires. And therefore, it is mentioned by Bhakti-yoga Thakur also that one of anarthas in our spiritual progress is a tattva vibhrama. And that means that not clear understanding of tattva, what is our sambandha, what is our abhideya, and what is our prayojana. And if we don't have this clear understanding of tattva, of prayojana tattva, then of our goal, then it's an anartha. We cannot go beyond anartha nivritti. Yes. So it's extremely important to understand. And in Ragavartma Chandrika, as I mentioned by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who is our Rasacharya, he also stresses very much following of Kartik Vrata. And not just Kartik Vrata. He mentions for achievement of our goal, of our desired goal of Raga, he mentions that it's very important also for every Vaishnava to follow Ekadashi Vrata. And today is a special day. It's Ekadashi. And not ordinary Ekadashi. It's the starting point of the last part of Kartik and Bhishma Panchaka. So I invite you to dedicate your day in remembrance of Krishna, because the purpose of every vrata, actually, is not to perform some dry austerity for the austerity's sake. But as we said yesterday, Smartavya satatam Vishnur vismartavya najaduchit sarve vidi nishedaksur itavariva kinkara. The purpose of everything, of every injunction, of every vrata, of every prohibition, of whatever there is just to always remember Krishna and never forget him. Yes, so Kartik vrata or Ekadashi vrata are meant for this purpose also, to remember and to deepen our relationship, Therefore, we should understand that we should go deep in our sadhana. You should go deep. Don't stay on the surface. Don't just finish your rounds. That will not help you develop love for Krishna. Yes, we should establish relationship through our chanting, especially because it's our yoga dharma is chanting of the holy names. Yes, there is no other way. Harir nama, harir nameva kevalam. Kalo nasti eva gatirnata. Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai. No other way. Yes. So this is extremely important to understand, that we should go very deep in our chanting. And if we don't dedicate our time for quality chanting, we will never develop relationship. Yes. So I advise you to switch off your phones. The phone is the ultimate destructor of this age. No sound should come from the phone. Yes. Don't be disturbed by your phone. Put it away. And if you are tempted, lock it in another room. Yes. And don't talk to other people during your chanting. Yes. Preferably get up in the morning and chant before Mangalarati. These are most auspicious time and most peaceful because everyone is sleeping. Yes. So you can focus. No one will disturb you with different questions or demands from you. Yes, this is my recommendation. It is explained by our acharyas that even if you want, especially if you want to develop raga bhakti, we should follow this very strictly. Our sadhana. Yes. Shruti smriti puranati pancharatra vidim vina. Aikantiki harir bhaktiru utpate eva kalpati. Says Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Bhagavata-dharma dasa, that if one follows aikantiki bhakti, one-pointed devotion, so-called, but if it's not following Shastra, it's just a disturbance. It's not actually bhakti. Yes. And this is also explained by Lord Krishna himself in 16th chapter of Bhagavad-gita. Yakshastra vidim utsrija vardate kamakarada. Nasasiddhim avapnoti nasukam na param gatim. If one doesn't follow Shastra, Yakshastra vidim utsrija, rejects Shastra, vardate kamakarada, and acts according to his desires, nasasiddhim avapnoti, he will not attain siddhi, perfection. But one may think, okay, I will not attain perfection, but I want to be happy. Nasukam, says Krishna, will not be happy. Nasukam. Okay, I will not be perfect, I will not be happy, but at least I will go back home, back to Godhead. Na param gatim. Says Krishna. No way. Na param gatim. You will not attain the highest goal. You will not go back home, back to Godhead, by rejecting Shastra. Yes. Therefore, this is extremely important, that we put our consciousness in proper form, that we can understand also proper mood of the Damodarastaka. And so we will now begin with the first verse of Damodarastaka. Namam Ishvaram Sachitanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Namam Ishvaram Sachitanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Yashoda Biyalukala Davamanam Param Rishtam Atyanta Todrutya Gopya. Yashoda Biyalukala Davamanam Param Rishtam Atyanta Todrutya Gopya. Hare Krishna. To the Supreme Lord, whose form embodies eternity, knowledge and bliss, whose earrings swing to and fro, who shines beautifully in Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, quickly ran from the grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, and who was finally caught from behind by her, who ran faster than he. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisances. Yes. Namam Ishwaram Sachitananda Rupam begins this verse. We should understand who is Krishna. He's not just a cute little boy who performs different naughty things. Yes. And in Bhagavata-dharma Chandrika again, by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, it is explained that Madhuryam doesn't mean nice little boy, naughty boy who enchants mother's heart. But Madhuryam means that it's sweet, but it's full of opulences. So he's Ishvara. Ishvaram Paramam Krishnam Sachitananda Vigraham Anadir Adir Govide Sarva Karana Karanam. Yes, it's explained by Lord Brahma in the first verse of Brahma Samhita. Actually the same idea that Ishvara Paramam Krishna, that the Supreme Ishvara is Krishna. And here Satyavrata Muni also prays to Krishna as a Ishvara. So Ishvara is one who is the Lord of everything. And Krishna explains in Bhagavad-gita, Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram sukhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mama shantim richati. We should know who is the Lord. And actually, also the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they know. Usually we hear that they don't know, but they do know. And there are many examples that prove this in Srimad Bhagavatam itself. When they are in danger, they all remember what Gargamuni has said, that Krishna has the power of Narayan, and he will protect you from all dangers, and they take shelter of him. And when the gopis came to the forest to dance rasa with Krishna. And Krishna was playing with them and seemingly rejected them and sent them back home. They were praying to him that you are not the son of a cowherd lady like Mother Yashoda, who is full of soft heart. You are indwelling witnesses of all beings. You are super soul. Yeah. And when Krishna left with Srimati Radharani, and later on he also left Srimati Radharani, she prayed, Ha nata ramana preshta kvasi kvasi mahavuja dasyaste kirpanayami saki darshaya sanidim. Oh my Lord, where are you? I'm your insignificant servant. And when Uddhava came to Vrindavan and visited Maharaj Nanda and Mother Yashoda, after he left, Uddhava, Maharaj Nanda actually prayed to him that let me always remember Krishna, bow down to his lotus feet. Yes. And it is explained by our acharyas that there are two kinds of relationship with Krishna. One is in Vrindavan, by these inhabitants of Vrindavan, Brajvasis. That one is like soothing, like moon rays. This is when we have a union with Krishna, when we are together with Krishna. It's so blissful that everyone forgets that Krishna is God. Yes. So when Brajvasis are with Krishna, they completely forget that he's God, his lordship. But when they're suffering the separation from him, it's like scorching rays of sun in which everything is revealed. So also his glories of being Supreme Personality of Godhead, they're revealed. And they also, Brajvasis, they know in when they suffer in separation that Krishna is Supreme Lord. Yes. So we will see in this Damodarastaka that one cannot achieve the Lord with a reverential mood, in awe and reverence, but only in intimate love. But still, we can see that Satyavrat Muni offers obeisances again and again to this Lord, although he's praying for prema bhakti and for Vatsalya prema bhakti actually. But still he's offering obeisances to Damodar Krishna, because he understands. And we should not pretend that we don't understand, or be foolish and take cheaply our process, like Prakrita Sahajias, who think that they can imitate Krishna's pastimes and thus achieve Krishna. No, Krishna is not of this world, and we cannot imitate his activities. And is also warned by Shukadeva Goswami, never that no one should imitate great personalities, their behavior. One should just follow their instructions, but never try to imitate great personalities in their activities. And the example is given. If one tries to imitate Lord Shiva and drink the ocean of poison, he will not be beautified with blue throat, but he will die immediately. But Lord Shiva is glorified as Nilakantha, who has blue throat because for the benefit of all living entities, he drank the ocean of poison. Yes. So we should know that the Lord is Ishvara, and he's Satchit Ananda. His body is composed of pure bliss, everlasting bliss, all-knowing bliss. Can you understand what kind of substance is bliss? This Lord's body is of bliss. And also our existence is of bliss by its eternal nature, but it's covered by ignorance. So the purpose of our life is to remove that ignorance, and we shouldn't identify with the body. Therefore it is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti-yoga, that the purpose of Vaishnava sadhana is to practice Vairagya, but not dry Vairagya, but Vairagya for Krishna's pleasure, but to be as unattached to this matter as possible. Yes. Nowadays I don't see that many devotees would like to follow this. But it's really important not to be attached, not to accumulate unnecessary things that just disturb our consciousness, our mind. Once I've heard very instructive thought and very important from Jayadvaita Maharaj, and then I read the same by Prabhupada in Srimad Bhagavatam, that one should keep his expenses as close to zero as possible. Yes, then we can be peaceful. Yes. And we will not be in debt if we keep our expenses as close to zero as possible. Yes, and will not be disturbed by this and that desire. We should not cultivate material desires. Yes, we should cultivate Krishna conscious desires to develop this deep relationship, because only this can satisfy the heart, nothing else. Yes. So his sat means that he's eternal. He's real. What is asat is unreal. Nasato vidate bhavo, nabhavo vidate sata. Ubar apidrishtanta tvatva darshivi. It is explained by Krishna in 2nd chapter of Bhagavad-gita that what is everlasting, what is sat, is also existing. And what is not everlasting is asat, is nabhavo. It doesn't have any real existence. So we can see this flickering matter is not permanent. That therefore it doesn't have an existence, real existence. For example, I see all of you here, but actually we know that matter is always changing. Not even for a moment it's the same. And so, and the light travels from an object to an eyeball for a certain time. That means that in that time, the object has already changed. So whatever we see is actually something that is gone, that is not existing anymore. Of course, that is so, for our perspective, so insignificant change that we don't perceive it in this way, but actually it's already past. Therefore, everything we see is just illusion in this material world. It's non-existing anymore. Yes. Therefore, we should not strive for non-existing things. We should strive for ever-existing thing or personality, and this is Krishna, who is Satchit Ananda Vigraha. And yes, he's Chit. He's completely cognizant of everything. He knows everything. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyami chabhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. I know everything, what happened in the past, what is happening now, and what will happen in the future. But me no one knows. Yes, in truth. Yes, so we should connect with this, because we all have this tendency to know also. We want to know. And he's of course Ananda. Ananda Rupam, and he's not formless, he's not impersonal, he's person. Everything comes from personality. Nothing comes from emptiness. Yes. And Prabhupada gives this wonderful example how chemicals come from life and not from dead matter. And he gives example of a lemon tree. And in the soil from which lemon tree is growing, there is no citric acid at all. But this lemon tree produces hundreds of liters of citric acid. So this citric acid comes from life, from nothing else. And yes, it's interesting. And for example, if we take this wheat seeds and moisten them, that sprouts come out of these wheat seeds. The sprouts have hundreds and hundreds times more these different micro elements than the seeds. But there was just little water added, nothing else. So from where these different elements came? Not from the air, not from the water, because there are none in water, none in the air. So they come from life. Yes, life produces chemicals. Even scientifically, no one can disprove this. Yes, Hare Krishna. So I can see we won't have time for such explanations. So we should go a little quicker through this. And then further on, Satyavrat Muni describes a beautiful form of Krishna, Lasat Kundalam Gukule Brajamanam, that he has these swinging earrings, and these swinging earrings are in the form of makara. Makara, usually it is translated as sharks, but these are not sharks. These are some mystic aquatic beings that are carrier of Cupid. So Krishna has makara earrings. That means he's Cupid personified. Yes. And these earrings are undulating in his ears and madden Gokula by their charm. Krishna is maddening everyone with his charm. And then he mentions Yashoda. And Yashoda is the representative of all devotees actually in this verse. All devotees, Krishna's devotees in Vrindavan are extremely dear to Krishna. And as we have heard from Ekachakra Gram Prabhu, that all these different rasas also support Madhurya rasa in Vrindavan. So they're extremely important. Everyone in Vrindavan has specific role to serve Krishna. Yes. And the relationship with these Vrajvasis is extremely intimate. So much so that also not that they forget that Krishna is the Lord, but also Krishna forgets that he's the Lord. And he's afraid of his mother with a little stick in her hand. Although expansion of the expansion of the expansion of the expansion of Krishna, just by breathing, destroys all the universes. And he also showed Mother Yashoda that he's the Lord of the universes. When he opened his mouth and showed Mother Yashoda the universal form in his mouth. Yes. There are innumerable sticks in the universe, but he was afraid of one small stick and one cowherd lady. Yes. And this was not a pretense. Mother Kunti prays in the 8th chapter of 1st canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Gubya dadik tvaikritaga sitamatavad yati dashashu kalinanjana sambramaksham vaktram niniya bayabhava nayastitasya samam vimohayati bhirabhyat bibhiti. So you are fear of fear personified, she prays. Even personified fear is afraid of you. But still, you are afraid of your mother, of a gopi. And this scene is bewildering me. She wouldn't be bewildered if she would think that Krishna was just pretending to be afraid. That's okay, you're just pretending. There's nothing bewildering about. But no, she was bewildered. That means that Krishna was really afraid. And so one may think that Krishna is not all-knowing personality. That would be a defect, isn't it? But it is explained by our acharyas that by Bhira Mangal Thakur, that Krishna is knowing and he doesn't know at the same time. Hare Krishna. This is achintya. Yes. Inconceivable. That he knows and he doesn't know at the same time. Achintya kalayibhava natam starki na yojit. Prakriti bhah param yachad tatatachkintase lakshanam. That one should not apply material logic in understanding spiritual topics. Yes, we use our intelligence and our logic and everything to support, but not. It's not ultimate proof of something. Ultimate proof is Shabda, is revealed knowledge by Krishna and Acharyas and devotees. Yes, the time is flying by. I thought that we'll discuss at least two verses today. But we have only 10 minutes of time. And we haven't even gone through the first verse. Yes. And this is important to know something else also. In verses that describe this lila in Srimad Bhagavatam, in 8th chapter, it is explained Triyach Upanishadbhishcha Sankhya Yogeshcha Sattvatehi Upaniyamana Mahatmyam Harim Samanyatatmajam. That Lord is glorified through all the Vedas and Upanishads as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Mother Yashoda took him as her ordinary child. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that we should take this verse, this 10.8.45, to be Paribhasha Sutra for Krishna Lila. That we understand that Krishna, for the residents of Vrindavan, he's just an ordinary boy. Yes, because he's so sweet that they forget his opulences. Yes, he's Ishvara, Parama Krishna. Yes. So, at that day, it was a Deepavali, when this pastime occurred. It's described in Damodarastaka. It was a Deepavali, and Deepavali is a great festival, especially in India. And Mother Yashoda gave free day to her servants for this opportunity. And so she decided, and also she heard so many complaints by other elderly gopis that Krishna is stealing butter in their houses. So she wanted to, she was convinced that her servants don't churn butter properly, so she wanted to churn butter herself, personally. And for this purpose, she gathered the best possible milk. Nanda Maharaj had just his selected herd of cows. Otherwise there were unlimited cows, but selected herd was 900,000 cows. 900,000 cows. But from these 900,000 cows, only 8, I think, they were selected as the best cows, Gandhamadana cows, who were fed by Gandhamadana grass, the best possible grass. And from these 8 Gandhamadana cows, there was one, the best of the best cow, who was fed by milk of these other cows, other best cows. So her milk was condensed Gandhamadana milk, the best possible milk you can get in this all worlds, spiritual and material worlds. And this special milk was made into yogurt and churned by Mother Yashoda for Krishna. And also she cooked this Gandhamadana milk for Krishna on the stove. And she was blissfully singing the songs about Krishna and churning the butter. And Krishna woke up, and because he was drawn by her pure love, extreme love, because when she was singing about Krishna, milk flowed from her breasts, and milk of love for Krishna. And also when Uddhava came to Vrindavan with messages from Krishna, he was accepted and welcomed by Maharaj Nanda, but not by Mother Yashoda, if you remember from Srimad Bhagavatam. She was just weeping and shedding tears and milk all the time. And if she was asked anything, she said, "I don't want to see anything but my son's face." So she couldn't give any reception to Uddhava. And she was just crying uncontrollably. 2 rivers were flowing from her, rivers of tears and rivers of milk. Yes. So Krishna was drawn by her extreme love, and he wanted immediately to taste this love of hers. And she took him on her lap and blissfully started to feed Krishna from her breasts. And then the milk on the stove, which was boiling for Krishna, thought that Mother's milk, Mother Yashoda has unlimited supply of milk herself. And Krishna is never satiated by her milk. So he will drink milk forever at Mother Yashoda's breasts. So what's the use of my existence? So I rather sacrifice my life in the fire. So he jumped out of the pot to be sacrificed in the fire. But Mother Yashoda put Krishna away and ran to save the milk. Yes, because this milk was meant for Krishna. And there is very deep meaning behind this also that we should understand, but we don't have time.
There's no breakfast with fasting, so
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I don't know. I will have to organize differently this seminar, because we have time only till Friday, and we have just mornings and maybe Friday evening, I don't know. So, but I don't want to keep you here over time. I don't know what others think. Okay, we can discuss this. That there is explanation of bhakti, definition of bhakti in Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karmadya navritam anukulena krishna nushilanam bhaktir uttama. And that Uttama Bhakti, or pure devotional service, is when someone is completely free from all tendencies to have any other desires. Yes, Anya Bilashita. Anya means other, and Abhilasha means desire. But if it would be Anya Bilasha Shunyam, it would be great misfortune for us. Because we are full of different desires. Who can count all different desires? The fact that we are sadhakas is confirmation that we have many desires, other desires than just Krishna. Therefore, it is not Anya-bilasha shunyam, it's Anya-bilashita shunyam. That we should be free from tendency to desire anything else. That means that although we have different desires, and we realize, yes, I have unlimited desires, but I want to get free from them. I want to get to be free from any other desire, just to love Krishna. This is Anya-bilashita. So, although I do have the other desires, but I want to get rid of them. This is the proper mood. Anya-bilashita shunyam, jnana karma dhyana avritam. And we are not covered by spiritual understanding and by any kind of work that is not meant for Krishna's pleasure, or any other things like yoga or astrology or anything like this. Yes, adi means anything else. Jnana, karma, adi. Anything else. Anukulyena Krishna Anurshiranam. Anukulyena, Kulya means riverbank. And in Slovene we have expression, if someone is, if two people are antagonistic to each other, we say that they stand on different banks. So here it is said that we should be Anukulyena, that we should be on the same bank with Krishna. So that we should be favorable to Krishna, not pratikulyena. Pratikulyena means to be on the other bank, but we should be anukulyena. And we should do things for Krishna's pleasure, for Krishna's benefit. Because we can see, one can think if this explanation of this definition of bhakti wouldn't be as precise as it is, then we would may think that attitude of Kamsa or these wrestlers in Mathura towards Krishna was bhakti, because Krishna loves to fight, and they pleased Krishna by their fighting spirit. Krishna had good fight, good fun fighting these wrestlers, Chanura and Mushtika, and so on, Shala, Toshala. So, but it is explained that this is not bhakti. And Mother Yashoda, who put Krishna away, and Krishna became extremely angry and dissatisfied, Mother Yashoda's action is bhakti. So, in one side, Krishna was dissatisfied, and this was bhakti. And when he was completely satisfied, this was not bhakti. So, bhakti is mysterious. It's meant for Krishna's pleasure. And these wrestlers, they wanted to kill Krishna. This was their intention. Therefore, their intention was not bhakti. But Mother Yashoda's intention was to save milk just for Krishna, because this was the best milk prepared just for his pleasure. Therefore, it's so important. And It is explained also by Shiva, Lord Shiva to Mother Parvati. Radhananam sarvasham Vishnura radhanam param. Tasmat parataram devi tatiyanam samarchanam. That amongst all these different worship, the worship of Lord Vishnu is the highest. But worship of his devotees is even higher. Yes, tatiyanam samarchanam. So we should understand how important Krishna's devotees, everything that is meant for Krishna. It is mentioned that they're even more important than Krishna himself. Everything that is meant for Krishna, yes. Therefore his paraphernalia is also his tatiya. Yes. We should be very respectful also for his paraphernalia, not just devotees, but also for everything that is meant for Krishna's service. And ultimately everything is meant for Krishna's service. Therefore great devotees, when they get up, they beg forgiveness from Mother Earth that they will tread her by their feet. Yes. Because everything is meant for Krishna's satisfaction and service. And Mother Earth, of course, is Bhumi Devi, who is expansion of Satyabhama, who is expansion of Srimati Radharani. Yes. Hare Krishna, we'll stop here. I beg your forgiveness that I went over time. Is there any question or comment or doubt? Yes, please.
Lecture, very inspirational. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
But you just mentioned, as we heard many times actually already, that we can please Krishna, but higher than that is pleasing Krishna's devotee. And then I always think by myself, yeah, but I'm sure you mean his pure devotee, because in one sense, every living entity is a devotee. All the members of our community are devotees. We're not pure devotees.
Yes, this is a very important question. Thank you. In the beginning of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami prays to every devotee that he is lower than, he says for himself that he is lower than a worm in a stool, that everyone who mentions his name becomes sinful. And then he offers obeisance to all the devotees, even the newcomers who just came in Krishna consciousness, because they're dear to Krishna. And it is explained that bhakti, one of the aspects of bhakti is Shri Krishna Akarshani. He has the power to attract Krishna. Therefore, it's more powerful than Krishna himself. Because it's energy of Srimati Radharani. Yes. Because Krishna is all attractive. He attracts everything and everyone. But bhakti is so powerful that attracts even the all-attractive one. Yes. And therefore, and this attractive force, it is explained by our acharyas, is in insignificant amount also in sadhakas. Therefore, there would be no way to advance in spiritual life, because we advance only by mercy. and Avanandava, as we will see from this lila. Yes. And therefore, everyone, and there was a question from the inhabitants of Kulinagram to Lord Chaitanya after the Ratha Yatra. What is their duty? And Lord Chaitanya said that they should always chant the holy name and serve the devotees. And they asked Lord Chaitanya, who is a devotee? How will you recognize a devotee? And first year Lord Chaitanya said that everyone who chants the holy name once is a devotee. Yes. And next year Lord Chaitanya instructed them to always chant the holy name and serve the devotees. And they again asked Lord Chaitanya, who is a devotee? And Lord Chaitanya said that those who always chant the holy name are devotees. And the third year, the same question. They put the same question: who is a devotee? How will we recognize a devotee? And Lord Chaitanya said that those who, but by just their presence, they inspire everyone else to chant the holy name. They are devotees. So there are different gradations of devotees, and therefore Rupa Goswami explains in Upadeshamrita what our attitude toward different grades of devotees should be. In the 5th verse of Upadeshamrita, yes, and we should offer all our respects, mental respects, to everyone who is chanting the holy name, and we offer our obeisance with our body to every initiated devotee, and we should worship and serve those great devotees who are completely without any tinge of desire to criticize others. Very important point, that we should never criticize anyone. Yes, so everyone is important. Mango is mango, even if it's not ripe. But even if it is green, it's still, it is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in 10th canto, because there are two sets of gopis. One could achieve Krishna when the Rasa Lila began, and others were not able to achieve Krishna. They were kept back by their husbands and fathers and so on. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that when servant picks up different mangoes for the satisfaction of the king, he can see that some are ripe enough and fit to be offered to the king, but some are not ripened yet, and so he leaves them to ripen by time, and by time they will get ripened and become fit to be offered to the king. So they're all meant for king's pleasure, all these different mangoes. So all these different devotees are meant for Krishna's pleasure, although some are not ripe yet and not ready to be offered really for Lord's pleasure. But they will, in time, if they're properly kept, they will become ripened. So it's also the proper storage is very important, and therefore we hear this Krishna Katha and we discuss this philosophy just to be properly kept, that we can become ripened for Krishna's pleasure. Hare Krishna. Yes, please.
Thank you for your class also. In that respect, thank you. In that respect, the answer to Mr. Prabhu, like we have Radhadesh would not be Radhadesh if we didn't have 500 million, 500,000 visitors coming here since we started. So we always have a tendency, like you say, we should mentally respect people who don't who chant or in different grades of chanting. But our tendency is, or our idea is that we should have like an institutional response or an attitude or behavior. Can we behave on the same level of people, of our guests, for example? Just like be like normal with them and speak normal to them. We tend to be very institutional, and we do that automatically. There is like a level of impersonalism, or like we dig. You understand what I'm trying to say? This is important to me because someone who comes to the temple, after maybe millions of lifetimes, he comes in here, steps into the golden age, and I'm not satisfied if we just have just an institutional
Response to them.
response to them. It should be much more glorious.
Yes. Thank you. This is really important because institutional spirit kills the spirit of the heart. Yes. So we should know this and we should be aware of this. So institution should always be just to support our advancement in Krishna consciousness. And yes, we should be very warm to these people and welcoming and so on who come here, because they are sent by Krishna, actually, by Paramatma, to come here. Then this is not just golden age, this is spiritual world. This is explained. Golden age is from the material world, but this is spiritual world. It's explained by Lord Kapila that those the residence in temple is spiritual. Lord Krishna in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that yes, the living in the forest is in goodness. In towns and villages, it's rajas, and where there is sinful life is tamas, and in Lord's temple, it's spiritual world. Yes, we should understand this. So they come here somehow or other. We cannot judge how they come, but they come. So we should try to make them as close to Krishna as possible. And this should be our mission. And this is also established. These temples are established just for this purpose, that people can associate with devotees. But if devotees are official to them, the response is institutional, there is no heart-to-heart relationship. Therefore, the purpose of establishing the temples is diminished. Because Prabhupada said that we can stay under the tree, no problem. But people need to come somewhere, and therefore these temples are established that we can welcome people and make them Krishna conscious. Yes. Yeah, it's a very important question. Hare Krishna. Okay. I think we are late enough. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Damodarastaka ki jai, Kartik Vrata ki jai, Ekadashi Vrata ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.